but she was quickly overwhelmed by the leader's sharp swordsmanship, forced continuously to retreat. Lianhua desperately defended herself, exclaiming, 7 consecutive strikes. Oh no, I can't possibly block this attack. The bandit leader sneered with contempt. You're quite strong, but now there's no escape. You're my grasp. Just as he was about to pierce her with a deadly sword strike, a brilliant aura suddenly appeared, blocking his killing blow. The powerful light collided with the bandit's sword, shattering the blade into countless fragments. The broken blade plunged into the ground, but it didn't stop there. The radiant light continued towards the bandits surrounding Lianhua. One by one, they fell, their bodies riddled with holes like tatter baskets. This was the peerless martial art, the divine skill, Giswu Song, of Wu Jun, who had arrived just in time to rescue Lianhua. With a single move, he had annihilated almost all the enemies. The surviving bandits were terrified, frozen in fear. Amidst the chaotic scene, like a falling star, Wu Jun strode majestically over the corpses strewn across the ground. He worriedly asked Lianhua, "Are you all right?" Now feeling remorseful, she replied, "I'm fine. I'm sorry. That was too reckless of me." Wu Jun, unwilling to scold her, said softly, "Don't worry about it." With his moves, that leader knew we had no way to defeat him. A true man knows when to yield and when to fight. Seeing that he couldn't win, he immediately surrendered. "I surrender. I yield." Wu Jun pointed a sword at him. "Judging by your swordsmanship, you must be a warrior from a righteous sect in Zhejiang," he stammered. So? So what?" he coldly replied. "Then it's truly shameful that someone from the righteous Zhejiang sect would target the lives of innocent people just for filthy money like this." His words left the leader ashamed and speechless. Wu Jun continued to ask, "There must be a good reason. Why you all want me dead here in Hangzhou? If you want to live, tell me who's the mastermind behind this." That night, in his luxurious bed, Hyun Sung, the chairman of Hangzhou Bank, was sound asleep in the arms of a beautiful woman. Suddenly, a loud voice called out, "Hyun Sung, wake up." The commotion stirred him from his sleep. Ripped from his pleasant dream, he roared angrily, "Who dares to knock at this hour? Do you have a death wish?" His response was met with armed soldiers bursting through the door. A calm man approached the bed. "I believe you're the head of Hangzhou. Forgive my intrusion at this hour, but we need to talk." That cowardly leader confessed everything. That's how we traced it back to your estate. He exclaimed in praise. That brat was truly cunning, using every devious trick. He's acting under the direction of the Hangzhou boss, who prefers eliminating clients rather than returning a few measly coins to their rightful owners. Hyun Sung hung his head low, listening to the taunts without daring to utter a response. He cracked his knuckles, a sinister smile spreading across his face. "Now, shall we discuss the sum of money you're so fond of?" Hyun Sung was utterly terrified. I never expected him to be such a skilled martial artist with such formidable strength. He didn't dare say more, hastily kowtowing and begging for his life. "First, on behalf of the Hangzhou Bank, I sincerely apologize to you." Mugan remained indifferent, arms crossed, ignoring the apology. "I don't need your apology. Just tell me about that money now." Hyun Sung, feeling as if cut by a knife, hastily promised, "Of course, I will give you 500,000 silver taels, which includes both the principal and interest, along with compensation for this incident." Devo Quan stroked his chin, lost in thought. "So that means you'll grant me any wish I desire, after what you've put me through, right?" The bank president stammered, shaking his head in denial. "And no, that's not. My capabilities are limited. If your request is unreasonable, I won't be able to fulfill it, but I will do my utmost to meet your demands to the best of my ability." Vo Quan was about to make his demand, already scheming to swallow the Hangzhou Bank's vast fortune. "I want 500,000 silver taels in compensation, though my life is worth far more than that paltry sum." His blunt declaration left the old man speechless. Hyun Sung feigned ignorance, beads of sweat forming on his brow. 500,000? That sum would greatly damage our organization. Hearing the evasion in his words, Vo Quan slammed his fist on the table and stood up in a rage. "It seems there's still a misunderstanding here. I'm not here to negotiate with you." Hyang Sung trembled with fear, his face as pale as a sheet. The cold hero spoke with a commanding voice. "If I wanted to, tonight alone, I could reduce your entire organization to ashes. But you want to negotiate, don't you? Fine." He placed his hand on the hilt of the sword at his hip, ready to draw. "I'll show you where you truly stand." Witnessing his overwhelming power, the leader understood he wasn't bluffing. Indeed, if he truly wanted to, no one could stop him. The bank president sobbed. I know. But if I hand over the entire $1,000,000 at once, I'll be bankrupt. He regretted everything, thinking, I shouldn't have messed with this monster in the first place. If only... Mugun unsheathed his sword, his killing intent palpable, ready to punish the deceitful old man. Just as he was about to strike, Yunhua quickly grabbed his arm. Stop. If you do that, you'll be murdering innocent people too, just for some measly money? She looked him straight in the eyes and demanded, do you want to become a cruel monster like them? Her question hit Vo Quan like a bucket of cold water, bringing him to his senses. He relaxed his body and slowly sheathed his sword. I knew you would say that. Vo Quan regained his composure and bellowed at the bank manager. I could level your entire organization, but because I am a compassionate man, I don't want to stain my hands with blood, so I will grant you a little leniency and only demand what's within your control. The two Hyung brothers were moved to tears. Note, assuming Huin Sung is two brothers with a family name Hyung. Thank you, young master. He sat down at the table and continued. However, it must be an amount sufficient to meet my demands. Otherwise, things won't be this simple. Hyung Sung breathed a sigh of relief, whatever it was he wanted. Note, using Hyung Sung singular here, assuming one brother spoke. Thank you very much. Yanawa smiled softly, her eyes filled with pride as she looked at him. Lost in conversation, they realized night had fallen. Mugun and Yanawa returned to the inn to prepare for a night's rest. He sat by the window, silently gazing at the bright moon hanging high above. In the quiet stillness, Mugun reflected on the day's events. A flicker of surprise crossed his mind. I never intended to do that. It was truly a wrong reaction, he thought to himself. Yanawa, changing in her sleepwear, spoke to him. But you were fully capable of doing it. And that worries me a little. You're stronger than anyone I've ever met. All I could do was try to stop you with words. Hearing the sadness in her voice, Mugun quickly apologized. I'm sorry for making you worry, but I am the young master of the Becker family. I would never do anything against my principles. A flicker of doubt crossed Yanawa's face, but then she said, yes, I believe you. So, are you going back to Anja now? Mugun nodded. Yes, there's nothing left for me to do here. Lianhua stepped closer, her voice hesitant as she spoke. I've been thinking about something. She nestled into his arms, her voice soft as a whisper. I want to go with you. Would that be all right? Wu Jun chuckled at her adorable shyness. My love, is there anything you can't do? The next morning, the couple returned to the harbor to charter a boat. Lianhua looked around curiously. We're going by boat. He nodded in confirmation. Yes, we need a ship. A ship large enough to carry cargo and a substantial amount of silver. Wu Jun frowned, scanning the harbor with a worried look. There has to be a ship here big enough to sail to Wendu, right? Unfamiliar with the local area, he decided to seek assistance from local merchants and ship captains. Wu Jun approached a man who looked like a harbor master. Hello, I'm looking for a ship to Wendu. The harbor master flipped through his ledger, carefully checking. A ship to Wendu? Ah, yes. And your name is? Mugun confidently introduced himself. I am Beck Mugun. Upon hearing the name, the harbor master immediately bowed respectfully. Young Master Mugun, I have been waiting for you here. He gestured towards the colossal ship behind him. This ship is named after you, young master, Mugun, and it's ready to set sail at any moment. Both Mugun and Yanawa were utterly astonished. Before them lay a massive merchant vessel. Who did this? Mugun asked the harbor master directly. Who named it? The harbor master smiled and replied, it was Miss Sil at the Ungjie family mansion. A servant rushed to inform Siola. Young Yesung was also present there at the time. Upon hearing the news, Siola was overjoyed. Young Master Mugun has boarded the ship. In just a few days, he will arrive in Anju. Yesung took a sip of water and said, good, very good. The ship we left behind has served its purpose well. Finally, I can ask you the question that has been weighing on my mind. Siola curiously interjected. Sister Yi sang, I'm very curious to know what that question is. She spoke sternly. Does this girl have a legitimate reason to reveal such crucial information to me? I've been curious about this from the very beginning. Siola blushed and replied, I'm only relaying the young master's words. How could a frail woman like me possibly steer such a large ship on my own, sailing across such a vast ocean? But Isang didn't believe Siola's explanation. Stop beating around the bush. I know you're not an ordinary woman. I don't want to argue further about your true identity, because what I know completely contradicts what you're saying. Why did you give her the opportunity? To gain the young master's favor. Muyang's sharp question made Seola's face instantly change color. She fell silent, unable to speak. Seeing this, Yi-sang continued. In that situation, you should have done your utmost to prove yourself. We're both women, so you can understand how I feel. Tuedon confessed in a melancholic tone. Because I only wish to repay the young master's kindness. Moreover, I think. She looked at Isa Sang, then continued, Miss Isa Sang is the one who is truly a good match for him, and you have the ability to help him too. Her sincere compliment made. Isa Sang blushed crimson, like a ripe tomato. Isa Sang stammered. Thank you for thinking so highly of me. Forgive me, I think I may have misunderstood you. You're truly a pure and innocent girl. You always put the young master's interests first. Before leaving, Isa Sang advised Tuedon, but you misunderstood me as well. The young master and we've broken up. You're quite clever and quick-witted, but also very naive. Tuedon abruptly stood up, upon hearing that they had gone their separate ways. With Yen Ni. Since Yen Ni said that, allow me to offer you some heartfelt advice, Tuedon. Be true to yourself, Tuedon. With those words, Yen Ni turned and left. Tuedon stood frozen, questioning herself. Her mind was in turmoil. Because her heart belonged to only one person, young Master Vo Quan. Tuedon gazed towards the distant harbor as if waiting for something. She was longing for Vo Quan's familiar figure. A few days later, everyone in the clan gathered at the harbor to welcome Vo Quan's return. Those present were the most important members of the clan, including Vo Quan's younger brother, Muo Si. The boy looked incredibly excited and eager, because his older brother had finally returned. I'll be here waiting for you, brother. The boy clutched the scrolls in his hands. There's so much I want to tell you, and I want to hear your stories too. As soon as Vo Quan and Lin Hoa disembarked, he saw his family. The entire clan bowed in unison. Their voices echoed respectfully. Welcome home, young master. Mu Wan burst out laughing. You'd think I've been gone for 1,000 miles. After the warm welcome, his younger sister couldn't contain herself any longer and rushed towards him. Mu Wan's father greeted his son warmly. I'm so glad you're home safe, Mu Wan. Mu Wan asked with concern. Are you well, father? Leading him into the house, his father replied. I'm fine, and I'm happy to see you looking so strong. Mu Wan said softly. You still worry about me. Father, can't you see how fit I am? His father chuckled warmly. To a parent, no matter how grown their children become, they'll always be our babies. Mu Wan looked at his younger brother running behind him. He started to say, come to think of it, Mu Ogi, but before he could finish, his brother jumped into his arms. Brother, I've been waiting for you. The gentle young man ruffled his little brother's hair. I'm home, but why do you look so sad? Mu Ok sniffled. I was so worried about you, but I'm so glad you're back safe. Vogun was touched by his younger brother's heartfelt words. You haven't heard from me lately, have you? He asked apologetically. I'm sorry for making you worry. I'm sorry I made you worry. Mu Ok quickly wiped away his tears and replied with a bright smile. Not really. You must have been busy and didn't have time. Seeing the two brothers' love and care for each other, Vogun's father felt incredibly happy. I'm so glad to see you two getting along. Mu Ok has been busy with a secret mission lately. Mu Ok has also been busy with a secret mission. Vogun asked in surprise. Have you already started? Good job, my brother. Mu Ok blushed at the praise. It's nothing, brother. I'm just helping Miss Seola with a few small chores. The mention of Miss Seola's name made Mu Ok's heart flutter with an indescribable feeling. She still clearly remembered before coming here. Her younger brother had asked her about Miss Seola, saying, Sister, isn't it alright if you don't go to greet senior brother? She had resolutely replied that everything was fine because she was very busy and that the young master would find her himself. After greeting her elder brother, Mu Ok quickly turned to leave and get to work because she was eager to help Miss Seola, who was currently busy. With the unfinished work left by Chun Mile, Mu Wan had only exchanged a few brief words with his younger brother. After a long time apart, but not long after, his brother was already in a hurry to leave, making Mu Wan feel reluctant to part. Why are you leaving so soon? Despite saying so, he had no intention of stopping his younger brother, but only smiled proudly as he watched his brother's back fade into the distance. Yes, the father exclaimed with a sigh. It seems Mogil has truly grown up. Indeed, father. I could only mature after experiencing hardship. Miyuki and Zhang nodded in agreement. I'm truly proud that finally, he has found his own path. Mu Ganxiang sincerely confessed his thoughts to his father, but somehow, I feel a tinge of regret. It's like the adorable little Mogil is gone. Miyuki and Zhang burst out laughing. Now you understand a father's feelings somewhat. Mukyeonjong didn't answer. His gaze shifted to Yanawa, standing behind, and he asked softly, "Tell me, how did you meet such a beautiful female warrior?" Mu Ganseong replied succinctly, "That's a long story, father." Mukyeonjong was a progressive man, so he quickly approved of their relationship. It's not bad to love a strong female warrior amongst a sea of other women. When Mukyeonjong led his son back to the mansion, all the servants in the house were lined up neatly, waiting to greet them, standing at attention before him and bowing respectfully. "We greet the great master and the esteemed young master." Mugan nodded with a satisfied expression. "You have been trained well," he further explained, "because they are all exceptional talents that I have carefully selected, based on the standards you set." Mugan humbly replied, "It's all thanks to father's brilliant guidance." Mugan ordered the servants, "Quickly prepare the most comfortable resting place for Yanawa. Yanawa, please rest first. I have some matters to discuss with father." Yanawa obediently agreed. Hearing this, he curiously asked his son, "You must be very tired as well. Why don't you rest for a while?" But Mugan said, "I'm still full of energy. I want to learn a few more moves from the greatest man in my life." Understanding his son's intention, father and son quickly stepped onto the family's sparring arena to test their skills. With his extraordinary strength, Mugwan didn't hesitate to launch a preemptive strike. He unleashed the Thousand Waves technique, a lightning-fast attack. His fierce emerald sword energy collided violently with Mugwan's brilliant golden sword light, creating an earth-shattering spectacle. Mugwan nimbly flipped in the air, dodging the fatal attack. He immediately countered with the Moonlight Sky Sword, a powerful offensive maneuver. His ferocious swordsmanship pushed back even his own father. Without pausing, he continued to soar, closing in on his father. Mugwan twisted his wrist, using his sword to block his son's relentless assault. The two clashed fiercely in midair. A deafening explosion rocked the heavens, shaking the entire area. The terrifying blast destroyed a corner of the arena. When the smoke cleared, his father collapsed, coughing uncontrollably. Meanwhile, Mugwan stood tall, completely unharmed. "Do you want to continue?" He quickly waved his hand. "All right, I concede this match." Mugwan sheathed his sword with a smile. "Forgive me, father." The old man was left speechless by the recent match. I thought I had grown much stronger thanks to that merchant's elixir. Hector, my son. But compared to you, I've only taken a small step on the path of cultivation. The young man humbly replied, "Not at all, father. I was just lucky to have the opportunity to improve a little." Stroking his white beard, the old man asked, "You're seeking the Jaguar tribe's elixir, aren't you?" "I've heard rumors." "Yes," Hector replied. "I've gathered some information. In the near future, the Jaguar tribe and the Bega clan will form a close alliance. It will surely cost a fortune. How can you possibly afford it?" After the spectacular duel, father and son sat down to discuss important matters. The young warrior replied, "We can use the money left behind by the Thunder God's previous life." The old man exclaimed in surprise, "Najiak, the Vanga heavenly honey, along with the cost of transportation, it's all taken care of. What a coincidence." "Oh, and one more thing. Surely, we'll face a torrent of questions. How do you intend to address their concerns?" The martial god responded gravely, "Perhaps you've heard of the Heavenly Demon Sect. They have resurfaced." The name evoked terrifying memories within it. The Heavenly Demon Sect? Those vile fiends dare to rise again? Unbelievable. They're the only ones who escaped the Thunder God's tribulation in their past lives. If we don't stop them now, the martial world will once again be drowned in a sea of blood. That's why I want to strengthen the Byoga clan, transform it into a force capable of resisting the Azura clan. Then we will be strong enough to surpass the Seven Sky Assembly. Mugun's father nodded slowly, understanding in his eyes. "I understand your ambition. However, confronting the Azura will be incredibly difficult. The Byoga clan is not yet powerful enough to face them." Father and son strolled leisurely through the small grove behind the manor. Mugun wholeheartedly agreed with his father's perspective. "Exactly, father. That's why I want the Bega clan to become the dominant force in the Jujong martial world, uniting the strength of all the sects under one banner. Isn't this ambition a bit too grand?" His father hesitated, a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. "Isn't that just a pipe dream? But I believe I can turn that dream into reality." After a moment of contemplative silence, he decided to place his complete faith in his eldest son. Very well, son. Follow your heart. I will always support and trust you. After discussing the clan's important matters, he shifted the conversation to his son's personal life. And the young woman you brought to meet us the other day, what is she like? Mugun respectfully introduced her to his father. She is a lady from the prestigious Putao family. We met by chance and fell in love with genuine sincerity. What the father truly cared about was whether this was a destined match for his son. But Wu Jun gently shook his head in denial. It's not like that. Honestly, I also care about her a lot. You've done enough for our family. Marriage should be your own decision. Half a day passed, and he finally returned home. Entering the room, he found Lian Hua sound asleep on the sofa. The sound of the opening door startled Lian Hua awake. Without a word, she rushed to embrace him. Wu Jun looked at her tenderly and asked, "Aren't you tired?" Lian Hua replied, "Not really, I rested a bit." He gently supported her. "Let's go for a walk then. There's a lot I want to show you." Lian Hua smiled sweetly. "Okay, I'd like to see where you used to live." Wu Jun took her hand and led her on a stroll around his city. They arrived at a famous restaurant in the city. They sat on the top floor, enjoying their meal while overlooking the bustling harbor. Dishes were served, from fresh seafood to fragrant grilled meats. Lian Hua couldn't help but swallow at the sight. They enjoyed a delicious meal together, savoring the feast in a warm and cozy atmosphere. Afterwards, he led her to a small grove nearby. They were visiting an old friend of his. "Young Master Qian, you couldn't stop singing Wu Jun's praises. You are truly extraordinary," he said. Wu Jun blushed and waved his hand dismissively. "You're too kind," he said. After their visit, Lian Hua could sense the admiration everyone had for Wu Jun. He must be a true hero, she thought to herself. On their way back that evening, Lian Hua confessed her feelings. "When I'm with you," she said, "I feel so small. Sometimes, I feel like you're so far away." Wu Jun smiled at her worry. "I thought you were worried about something serious," he said. He gently cupped her face in his hands. "I was just a drowning man, swept away by the current, and you were the one who saved my life. Is that still not enough?" Vu Quan looked deeply into Yanoa's eyes, his gaze sincere. "Being by your side makes me so happy. So please, don't wear that lonely, lost expression anymore." Yanoa was completely moved by Vu Quan's sincere words. She hugged him tightly and softly replied, "Yes, I'm sorry for what I just said." Vu Quan gently replied, taking the blame. "Perhaps I unintentionally did something to upset you, to make you feel lonely." He then took her hand and led her forward. "Come with me. There's somewhere I want to stop by. I want to introduce you to a friend." Yanoa asked curiously, "Who is it?" She didn't resist, obediently following him. Being by Vu Quan's side feels so peaceful. I think he feels the same way too. After a while, the two of them arrived, in front of a magnificent building. Inside, Xie Liang was already waiting, smiling in greeting to Vu Quan. The captivating beauty of the unfamiliar woman made Yanoa feel uneasy. She thought to herself, "Who is she?" "Oh, it's AI," Salah stuttered, blushing. "Young master." Mujan entered hand in hand with Yunhua. "We're home." Witnessing this scene, Goin was both surprised and heartbroken. She quickly turned away. "Yes, Mu Jiayun," Goin replied. "It's good to see you again." "Goin," Mu Jiayun said. Goin bowed her head slightly. "You've been through a lot. I'm glad you returned safely." "Who is this beside you?" Mu Jiayun introduced her. "This is Yunhua. She saved my life. I brought her back from Anju." Yunhua's expression seemed less than pleased. Xiola thought to herself, "What? Her? Does she know Mu Jiayun?" Goin stepped forward to greet them. "You must be from the Bu Tao clan. I apologize for the wait. The porridge is almost ready. I'm the housekeeper here, Dan Xiola. Please, this way. We need to discuss a few things," Mu Jiayun said. "Mu Jiayun, come with me," Goin said. "I'm sorry I didn't visit you when you stopped by earlier. The Secret Sky clan has." Seeing her hesitate, he spoke up. "I've gotten a full story from Munak. I understand. I should be the one apologizing for not contacting you." Lian Hua quietly followed behind, a knot of anger tightening in her chest. Why was she so friendly with Wu Jun on the way here? Why did Wu Jun bring her here? Back at Shue's room, he said, "I'll be back as soon as I'm finished." Young Master Munak is on the other side. When they were alone, he smiled and thanked her. He asked Lian Hua, "You haven't met Munak before, have you?" She replied, "Your brother?" "No, I haven't. I thought so." He led her into a room. "My brother, Munak, is helping me with a few things. I want to introduce you to him." She obediently followed. "All right." Despite her words, she felt a pang of displeasure. "What? Just so he can introduce me to his brother?" Mu Ok greeted Wu Jun with excitement. You're here. Wu Jun chuckled at the sight of the paperwork piled high on the desk. You look like a real librarian, Mu Ok. Mu Ok replied, what are you talking about? I still have much to learn. They all converged at the enigmatic First Heaven clan to gather information on the mysterious envoy and the rumors surrounding them. Before sorting through it all, Su Yinhua glanced at the stacks of books on the table, then greeted Mu Ok. All right, Wu Jun, introduce us. This is my younger brother, by Mu Ok. Mu Ok, this is Su Lianhua from the Fu Tao clan. She smiled. You can call me Lianhua. It's a pleasure to meet you. Mu Ok politely replied. The pleasure is all mine. After the brief introductions, the three of them sat down at the table to talk. Wu Jun turned to see Seol, stepping out of the room. She approached them and asked, have you been waiting long? He replied, not at all. We were so engrossed in our conversation with Mu Ok that we lost track of time. He then gently instructed Yanawa. I'm going to see Master for a moment. Yanawa, please stay here with Mogok. Hearing this, Yanawa looked incredibly flustered, but managed to stammer out, yes, sir. Seola could easily read her thoughts with just a glance. Mugun came to see Kienryo Flower. She called out, enter. I've heard about what you did in Ganju. You've worked hard. We are truly grateful to you for repelling the enemies of the secret moon celestial clan. He smiled and replied, I only did what I had to do, because the matter concerning the demonic god of the heavenly demon sect is of utmost importance. Sooner or later, trouble will arise in the heart of the martial world. Seola also spoke up. Our secret moon celestial clan also wants to investigate the situation of the Azura clan after their conflict with the Sama clan. The Namgung and Wang clan have been investigating suspicious factions. We're talking about the Shaolin Temple, a renowned martial arts sect, but both sects refuse to cooperate with the investigation. Therefore, we haven't found any leads. Mu One speculated, it won't be easy to catch them. The demonic god of the heavenly demon sect has likely infiltrated many places. Seola continued, that's why we've been investigating the unusual rise of various factions over the past 15 years. I will report to you immediately as soon as I have any leads or uncover anything. It seems like Marshal Quan also shares a similar opinion. I also want to join forces with Demon Godmon. First, we will unite the 10 great sects in Zhejiang. Then, we will become the leader of all the forces in Zhejiang. Seola smiled faintly. Young Master Muoke once said that he would definitely achieve that. It seems like he is gathering information on the 10 great sects in Zhejiang. It's best to ask young Master Muoke about this matter directly. I also agree with asking Muoke. It's sure to be worthwhile. He thought to himself that she truly understood her younger brother. Continue gathering information on Demon Godmon. Of course, sir. Muoke will also do his best to gather this information. She replied, yes, young master. Then his tone changed. Now, let's discuss this important matter. The most important issue between our two clans, Vega along with the Sky's secret family, is both Seola and Yuwa were so nervous and tense they couldn't speak. Mugun brought up the Sky's secret family's operational funds. They seemed disheartened, but replied with a hint of joy. It's fortunate you realized that. However, our Sky's secret family will always keep its promises. Young master, we will definitely inform you, even if you don't pay us anything. He denied it. No, our mission isn't simply to gather information. It's worth 10 million gold. Fortunately, I inherited the Thunder God's legacy, so we will donate at least 100,000 gold to support the Sky's secret family. Seola's overwhelming joy went without saying. It was clear how ecstatic they all were. Yua also expressed her gratitude. Thank you so much. Thanks to you, we can finally become stronger. Mugun stood up and declared, then we must be going. Lu Hua smiled brightly, a stark contrast to Seola's melancholic expression. Suddenly, she called out to Bai, her voice hesitant and uncertain. He asked, what is it? She stammered, I can. Ask about the relationship between you and the young lady from the Putao clan. Before he could answer, Lu Hua appeared and intimately linked her R with his. We're in love, she declared. Mu Jiayun was surprised by her firm declaration. She saved me, and we fell in love during our journey together. Seola forced a smile. Is that so? You two are a perfect match. Lu Hua silently observed the love triangle, feeling a pang of unease. Mu Jiayun asked awkwardly, so are you all right? She feigned composure. Why wouldn't I be? Between Master Bai and me, there's nothing going on, right? He didn't answer her question, only saying, "That's good." Just then, Lu Hua tugged at his arm. "Come on, let's go. I want to go out and look at the stars tonight." And so, the two of them left together. Seol Yang stayed behind, lost in her thoughts. Although it seemed unusual, she was truly more exceptional than she realized. It was hard to believe that he had fallen for a girl from the Putao clan. Her heart heavy with worry, she pondered her feelings for young Master Baxiel. Even though he was with Yunhua, his heart belonged only to Seol Yang. At Bega headquarters, from the clan leader himself to the representatives of the 10 Zhujiang factions, an unusual tension filled the air. Even at the heart of the martial arts world, it could be felt. It was time for the Zhujiang techniques to be refined and innovated. For this reason, this meeting was called with representatives from the 10 Zhujiang factions and their most promising young talents. Therefore, I implore you to respond to this letter. This letter has been passed around, first reaching the Pengdo faction's Te Gongpio. Next, the letter was delivered to Jiangmu's Zhang Wanhaio. After that, it fell into the hands of Ganga's leader, Gang Wanhai. Along with him, the Chanjiang faction's Wasong also received the letter. Finally, the letter reached Black Sword Magistrate OK Chonggun, the final leader. As soon as he finished reading it, he tore it to shreds. "The Baek Mu Gun of the Becker clan. So it was you bastards who caused this." He roared at his subordinate. "Are you certain that the one who kidnapped our leader was the young master of the Becker clan, the Baek Mu Gun?" The subordinate furrowed his brow and replied, "I am certain. Based on the description and the techniques used, he's exactly like Cheon Gunwook." "Impossible. Wasn't that brat's martial arts crippled?" The subordinate responded, trembling. "That's all I know. I never expected him to become so powerful so quickly. He's not just furious about having his martial arts stolen, but he's also secretly amassed a huge fortune from mysterious, unknown sources. Jonathan, I understand why that old man wants to unite all the factions. I'm certain he's harboring ambitions to become the overlord of all the underworld forces in Zhujiang." A worried subordinate said, "If that's true, we're in big trouble." Suddenly, he let out a cunning smile. "No, this is a golden opportunity for our golden clan. The truth is, each leader of the factions is in disarray for some reason. I don't know what advantage the Sky clan holds, but it's quite satisfying to see the Bega clan humiliated. Our Black Sword clan will seize all of Zhujiang." Back at the martial army's base, he was certain he'd laid the perfect trap, and those villains would surely spring it. Yanawa lay sprawled on her bed, utterly bored. Honestly, he'd been gone for days. Mu Jian kept making excuses for him. "I apologize, Yanawa, but the leader has an important meeting today. He had to rush up the mountain to take care of a burial. I'm truly sorry. Ever since he took on the leadership of the clan, he's always been busy. If she were to marry Mu Jian, would her life still be like this?" She tossed and turned, lost in thought. Just then, Mu Jian knocked on Yanawa's door. "Can I see you for a moment?" She rushed to open the door, her face lighting up. "Where are you going? Can I come with you? Or it looks like it might rain. Why don't you come inside for a bit?" He awkwardly declined. "Sorry, maybe another time." Then he asked, "But can you bring your sword?" Yanawa looked surprised. "My sword? What for?" "I want to give new recruits some swordsmanship training. I'd like you to teach them the Puto clan's techniques." Together, they headed to the training grounds. Following behind, Mugan watched Yanawa with infatuated eyes. "I think I'm going crazy," he thought. She looked so adorable without a sword in her hand. But the moment she grips the blade, it's like facing the grim Reaper himself. Truly worthy of being the young mistress of the renowned Puto clan. A young swordsman, brimming with energy, stepped forward. "I would like to request a spar," he declared. The two quickly engaged in a duel. Yanawa displayed incredibly skillful swordsmanship. In the blink of an eye, she disarmed her opponent. Her sharp blade was then held against his throat. He raised his hand in surrender. "I yield." Just as I expected, Mugan thought to himself. Those magnificent sword techniques could only come from the Puto clan. Yanawa smiled gently. "You have a good spirit, but it seems he's exhausted from holding the sword for so long." Mugan stood beside her, carefully observing every move. She didn't need to use such a complex technique. Suddenly, she turned and gave him a bright smile. Then, she playfully winked. How arrogant. She must be bored, he thought to himself. After the spar, another person stepped forward. "My turn." He gripped his sword tightly and said respectfully, "Please, teach me." As soon as he finished speaking, he raised his sword and launched a fierce attack. But she parried his blows with effortless grace. Just looking at her expression, you could tell she was serious now. Mugun thought to himself, "She's angry. Yana was struck, knocking his sword away. He was utterly terrified. I'm sure I attacked with all my strength. But she countered so easily, as if nothing had happened. I was so excited that I pushed myself harder than usual. With this power, any opponent could be injured. But my current opponent is a young lady from the Putao clan. She's truly a formidable opponent. With Ion Hui wielding the masterful Beck Ryong no technique, she pointed her sword at him, the blade sharp and precise to the millimeter. There's still so much to teach them. Muon was lost in thought when a voice called out, "Young master of the Beck family." The caller was Yinazong. Meanwhile, on the other side of the battlefield, Yanawa admitted defeat. "I lost," Yanawa said. "You relied too much on brute strength. A true master can't win with spirit alone. You need to focus on technique as well." "Muon, what do you think?" She longed for his praise. But when she turned around, she saw him chatting happily with another girl. Yanawa's face fell. "Who is that girl?" Muon spoke. "Later, I will send one of my best warriors to inspect the medicine supply." Yinazong replied, "We will try to deliver it ahead of schedule." Yanawa angrily strode towards Muon. He asked, "Are you done with your match?" She sulked. "Weren't you even watching me fight? You're the one who urged me to fight them." He quickly defended himself. "I'm sorry. We have important matters to discuss." She interrupted him, not even bothering to let him finish. "Enough. I accepted the challenge because of you. I thought I could overlook the fact that you're flirting with another girl. Isn't that a bit much?" she said, pointing directly at Isa Seng. Mugun stammered, "I sincerely apologize. This is Ms. Sung, my partner for this inspection project." Yanawa was still furious. "All you can say is sorry? That's enough." She turned and walked away. Mugun turned to Isa Seng awkwardly. "I'm truly sorry, Miss Sung. It's all my fault." She forced a smile. As expected of the esteemed young lady of the Putao clan, she's even managed to captivate young master by duel. Then she looked at him. "I want to talk to you privately." After some time had passed, Yanawa still sat alone in silence. Suddenly, Isa Sang approached. "There you are." She pulled up a chair and sat down. "My apologies for the delay. I am young Isa from the prestigious young Ga clan. I understand you are the esteemed daughter of the renowned Putao clan." Yanawa remained silent, offering no reply. Isa decided to break the tense silence. "I think we should get straight to the point. You're jealous, aren't you?" Yanawa turned away, feigning indifference to Isa's words. Isa smiled, understanding Yanawa's behavior. "It's perfectly natural to feel jealous when you're in love. There's no need to hide it. Don't worry. Beck and I no longer have any sort of relationship. Ours is purely a business partnership now." Yanawa asked coldly, "A partnership? Regarding what?" Isa continued, her tone still gentle. "However, I do have a few questions for you. Do you truly believe you're worthy of being Beck's lover?" Yanawa was speechless, unable to answer the question. A moment later, she abruptly stood up, her face flushed with anger. "What are you saying? Are you implying I'm not good enough for Mugen? That's ridiculous." Isa remained calm in the face of Yanawa's outburst. "Don't be angry, Yanawa. I didn't mean to judge you. I'm only saying this out of respect for you. I want you to understand the situation clearly." Yanawa was utterly confused and now had to endure this woman's lecture. "A sheltered young lady like you, wielding such sharp swordsmanship. You are truly different from any other woman I've met. Yanawa, you seem to have regained your composure. What is it you wish to discuss?" Yeo Sang spoke slowly. "I presume you possess immense patience. You couldn't possibly bear to watch your beloved leave for such a short period of time. Waiting is certainly not in your nature. I have no right to hold back an exceptional man, praised as the head of such a prestigious clan. If you marry Baeksun, could you be content with such a life, living a simple existence like any other woman?" Yanawa was momentarily speechless by the sharp question. Yeo Sang asserted confidently, "Baeksun is the hero of our clan. Countless women yearn for his attention, even if he has no interest in them. Do you wish to live a life consumed by jealousy? I believe you wouldn't be able to endure it." With that, she stood up. "That's all I wanted to say. Think it over carefully." Suddenly, Yanawa spoke with a firm voice. "Me too. Are you saying this just to get me to leave Mugun?" Yes, Eon smiled gently. "Don't worry. Like I said, it's completely over between Bai and me. I don't have any lingering feelings for him anymore." Yanawa asked, surprised, "What? Why are you telling me this?" She replied, her voice filled with emotion. "As a woman who's been in love, I can't just stand by and watch. I don't want to see an innocent girl like I once was get hurt. I can't bear to see that kind of heartbreak again." After their conversation, both women were lost in their thoughts. Back in the training grounds, Mugun was instructing everyone. The essence of the treasured sword is... Just then, someone approached him. We've received a response to your previous inquiry, sir. Mugun replied, faster than I expected. He opened the letter and read it. A smile spread across his lips after he finished reading. We need to prepare to depart soon. Mugun looked around as if searching for someone. A moment later, Lin Hoa saw the familiar figure of Vo Quan. She gasped, Vo Quan. He said remorsefully, Lin Hoa, I'm truly sorry for neglecting you these past few days. I haven't been there for you. She hesitated. Did you see that I was hurt? No, he replied. I'm the one who should apologize. I've been too much of a burden to you. Where are you going? I have to go to old Mrs. O'C's, he answered. I need to find out some information. Lin Hoa's face fell. So, I suppose I have to wait again. Vo Quan looked troubled. Lin Hoa, I'm really sorry. What I'm about to do is really important for the imperial examination. I promise I'll be with you tonight. So can we go for a walk tomorrow? She replied indifferently. Yeah, all right. She knew he always said that. Before Vo Quan could leave, another girl came to bid him farewell. I'll see you later, Lin Hoa, she said, her voice filled with a deep sadness. Vo Quan returned to old Mrs. O'C's place in Tuet. The 10 schools martial arts conference will be held in Zhejiang. At this conference, we will discuss new martial arts cultivation techniques. Muok excitedly says, finally, the day has come. Xiao Yang agrees. I think so too. I hope the proposal to elect a city lord will be approved. That proposal is completely justified. Moreover, many factions currently harbor ambitions of dominance. Mugun replies, of course it will be approved. Muok suddenly asks Mugun, but the crucial question is, why did Hyangdu lose such a large sum of money? I suspect he has connections to the Night Sword clan. Mugun chuckles. If he truly is a member of the Night Sword clan, things will become much more interesting. Muok is surprised. Brother, do you know something about them? Mugun begins to recount. Actually, on my way back, I encountered members of the Night Sword clan, and I recovered the money Hyangdu lost, plus a little extra. Muok exclaims in astonishment. What? What did you say? We didn't intend to steal their money. They were the ones who started the trouble with us. That laugh, it's just what I'd expect from senior brother Ya. The Sword Clan is hindering our path to becoming masters. Now, their hatred for us will surely deepen. You can't offer delivery service without charging a fee. Seal, I spoke up. Moon Pango has ambitions of reaching the master level. That's what he and Bai Trang have in common. To become a chief, you need the support of at least 6 major sects. Just aim for that position in the upcoming examination. No force will dare to object. Mu OK said, since you're here, I'm certain the sects will side with us. Our clan's reputation will spread even further. Mugun smiled. I guarantee they will follow us, because I will treat them generously. Miss Kong, probe the intentions of the other sects. We need to understand their desires and needs. Only then can we gain their unwavering support. She replied, I will do my utmost. He apologized tactfully. I'm so sorry to trouble you with this. Miss John, I'm sure you have many other matters to attend to. Her face flushed. Don't worry. If I can be of assistance, I'm happy to help. Suddenly she asked, Young master, will you be leaving soon? He confirmed, yes, perhaps in a few days. Xiao Yang hesitated, stammering. Do you think if you took me along? I mean, her younger sister impatiently spoke for her. To the martial army, the boy hurriedly chased after his senior brother. Can we talk for a moment? He looked back. Of course, Mui. They both stepped into a small pavilion to talk. Mui began, I apologize for intruding, but do you know that Miss John has feelings for you? He looked stunned, his face full of surprise. I'm truly taken aback. To be honest, I haven't felt that way. You say that, but why not answer my question directly? You're deliberately changing the subject. It seems to me you also have feelings for Miss John. To her surprise, he nodded in agreement. Yes, I do have feelings for Miss John. He was unaware that Lin Hua was standing nearby, hidden from view, and had overheard the entire conversation. She was speechless, frozen in place. Wu Jun continued, I'm just trying to keep my distance from the women who try to get close to me. But Lin Hua came to me with genuine affection, so I must reciprocate her feelings. Mu Oci felt a sense of injustice. However, I still feel sorry for Miss John. He smiled. I have my reasons. It's because I'm only cautious with the women who truly love me. I'm quite the heartbreaker, aren't I? You don't understand caution at all. I told you from this moment forward, I'll be at the pinnacle of power in Zhejiang province, and I'll face dangerous enemies like Yozong. Countless dangers lurk, and the road ahead is long. Any woman who becomes my companion will be caught in that vortex of fate. That's why I can't easily get close to them. I'm waiting for someone who understands and accepts all of this, someone to stand by my side. That's why I always have to be cautious. That evening, Wu Jun informed Yanhua that he would be attending the Zhejiang Martial Arts Convention at the Flower Palace early. She replied, "All right, I didn't expect you to invite Yanhua along. If you don't mind, why don't we go together?" She looked surprised. "Together? With me? Does that mean I'm considered a member of the Becker family?" He smiled and replied, "Only if you're willing." Yanhua happily put her arms around his neck. "You're trying to steal a female warrior from the Putao organization?" He's using sweet words to lure her, wants her to submit to him. "I have nothing to do with this." She pushes her luck. "Can you hold me?" she asks. Wu Jun replies, "Of course." The long night passes, and the two drift off to sleep together. After waking up, Wu Jun finds the space beside him empty. On the table, there's a letter left for him. "I'm sorry for leaving so abruptly," it reads, "but I believe this is the right decision for now. I truly cherish the moments we spent together, but in return, I would have to endure the loneliness of waiting for you. I don't think I can bear such a long and arduous wait. I yearn to be by your side, journeying with you everywhere, but I can't abandon my responsibilities and position within the Putao organization. I don't believe that a life of wandering and uncertainty is a good one. I love you with all my heart. You will always be my unforgettable first love. Someday, I will meet you again with my head held high." After reading the letter, Mu Won pondered over Yanhua's words. She made a good point. By my side, she would only waste her precious youth. I will await the day we reunite. We will meet again in a brighter future. Afterwards, he arrived in Gomwa. Upon setting foot in Pondo City, he encountered a familiar face. "There you are. You're late." Mu Won clapped his hands at him. "I thought leaving Bega for Pondo would get rid of you, but I never expected to run into this familiar face again." He laughed loudly and said, "Look who's talking. Seeing a familiar face like this is enough. Feast your eyes on these new faces." It was a member of the Bijan clan, led by Bijan. "Bijan greets you, Bekmu One. It's been a while. You look well." The girl also spoke excitedly. "It's an honor to meet you. Brother Mu One, you look so imposing." He chuckled softly and replied, "Thank you, sister." The four Bizion looked envious. "She never says such sweet things to us." The young man, momentarily treated like a friend, was now left standing alone, ignored. "Hey, I'm still here, you know," the young man protested. The four Bizion said, "Come on, let's go to the banquet. Let's enjoy this happy reunion." "I heard you called this gathering the 100 Chicken Exam," one asked curiously. He nodded in confirmation. "That's right. I want to use this opportunity to gather the greatest martial arts techniques, the essence of martial arts from all over the world." Another spoke up. "Don't you find the situation a bit unusual?" Mugun smiled calmly. "Nothing is unusual if everything goes smoothly." They continued chatting for a while longer. Suddenly, a group of people appeared. The leader spoke. Well, what do we have here? Isn't this the dragon warrior of the Bega clan? He was dead. How can he be alive?" He replied calmly, "Long time no see. How have you been?" Son Goku Jinan frowned. "Since when did I go by that name?" Jin Mu said coldly, "I don't know what tricks you're trying to pull at this so-called Murim association, but it's certainly going to be useless." Mu Won laughed mockingly. "You mean some kind of cheap trick? Isn't that the specialty of you Knight Sword clan members? You're so greedy, you can't live without money, can you?" As soon as he finished speaking, Jin Mu flew into a rage. "You bastard! Have you said enough?" He immediately launched an attack, but was unexpectedly blocked. Mu Won remained calm. "Not yet. I haven't finished." Jin Mu suddenly became extremely tense. What realm has he reached? Suddenly, Pundo, Munso, Munju, and Cheon Magong appeared. "It's time. It's been a long time. Do you have to be so intimidating? Can you stop? Please, both of you, stop this instant." Mu Won spoke up. "What do we have here? You don't need to be so overly excited. It's such a grand ceremony." He turned his back and walked away, fuming. "Whatever tricks you try to pull, the prize will belong to me. Don't even dream of it." He watched Jinwu's retreating figure. "You don't want to submit to him, do you?" Bizion replied, saying that is troublesome. "He's been like that for a long time anyway." The other one spoke up. "I'm on your side, but you should start gathering support soon." Mujin agreed. "But for now, let's enjoy the feast. It's been a long time since we've all been together." He thought to himself, "This is the duty of a warrior." Father would be proud. As he stepped inside, a group of young women surrounded Mujin. This is the end of the movie. Gao hopes to receive many likes and shares for motivation to make more movies.